I'm pleased to say that this special award from the Academy tonight is being presented to my good friend, the presenter of The Sky at Night on BBC One, Sir Patrick Moore. The Sky at Night began somewhat on the whim of a BBC executive called Paul Johnstone, who wanted to make a program or two, then to be called Star Maps. 44 years later, Sir Patrick is still at it and still has no contract with BBC. He says it's just a gentleman's agreement. Sir Patrick is a self-made and self-motivated man. At 11, he was elected the youngest member of the Royal Astronomical Association. 50 years later to the day, he became its president. On his 1908 typewriter, he has written all of his over 60 books on astronomy. And yet, he still claims to be an amateur, although one of the few to be honored with the CBE and OBE 7 doctorates and a knighthood. Sir Patrick's special subject has always been the moon. He has named much of it and mapped the rest. In 1959, he was able to bring to viewers the first lunic pictures of the far side of the moon. Incidentally, it was his lunar charts that the Russians used to correlate this new information. And again, it was Patrick's records that NASA used for the early Apollo landings. Not only has this man met every single lunar astronaut, he will modestly tell you that he's also met both the first man in space and the first man to fly an airplane, Orville Wright, as well as the author H.G. Wells and the great physicist Albert Einstein. Here is just a glimpse of what he has been up to over the last years on TV.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to this special... Well, good evening, and welcome to the Sky. Good evening.
Good evening. Well, I'm afraid Burnham's comet turned out to be something of a disappointment. But, of course, there's still a lot of drifting cloud up there, and we just can't tell whether it's going to be obscured at the critical moment. Of course, you won't see Vega looking large, because no telescope yet built will show a star as anything except pointed right. Is it gone? Oh, no.
Just as I got it on the crosswires, it flapped right out.
How absolutely typical. There's nothing we can do about it. You know, if I'd come on the air in 1957, when we did the first of these Sky at Night programs, and said that within 5 years, I'd be showing you pictures of the first man to go round the Earth in orbit in a spaceship, well, I think you'd have regarded me as mad. What do you think of the prospects now at the moment?
I think we're nearly totally obscured, Patrick.
And it certainly would not appear to be a very inviting place to live or work.
Well, Patrick Moore, what did you think of that?
Quite incredible. One thing we've got to bear in mind, I think, they were magnificent pictures. I'm not going to say they show us more detail than we've got from the orbiters, but they probably don't. Is it worth keeping it there, do you think?
Well, there's nowhere else to point it, is there?
No, I'm afraid not. And so, from Brighton, where the sky is now completely overcast, good night.
Good night.
Do you think, from your knowledge of the moon, having been there, that it is going to be possible in the foreseeable future to set up scientific bases there on anything like a large scale?
Oh, I'm quite certain that we'll have such bases in our lifetime.
Flaming things struck.
How many languages can you speak?
I can speak altogether 3 of the space languages. One is Venusian, the second is Kruger, the planet Kruger 60b, yes, and Pluto.
What does that mean, actually?
That means, how are all you? I am very pleased to see you this afternoon.
Good evening, and welcome to this Sky at Night special.
We've really exciting news. Halley's Comet has been sighted for the first time in over 70 years. How did you learn these languages?
These languages have been a gift sent from me from the actual people by rays.
There's a break. Look there, there's a break in the cloud, and there is the crescent sun. We're about 15 minutes from totality, and we've just had our first glimpse of the eclipse.
What about the 80th anniversary of the Sky at Night program? Will my successor be able to talk to you from a space station or the surface of the moon? Quite possibly. And of one thing we can be quite certain. Whatever happens, it's going to be exciting.
He's still got wild hair even now. Born in 1923, Sir Patrick, one of the great British characters of our time, bought his very first telescope for £7 and 10 shillings when he was 11, and aren't we all happy that he did?
I'm pleased and thrilled to offer this BAFTA award to Sir Patrick Moore.
Thank you so much. I must say, I feel really overwhelmed. There are so many people here who've done so much more than I have. After all, I've merely done some commenting. I did help, I suppose, in mapping the moon, but I have a sort of feeling that Buzz knows a bit more about the moon than I do. I must say, I have not myself been in space. It would need a very massive rocket to launch me. But I feel indeed very honored that Buzz is here to present this award. It's great of him. And after all, if Buzz's trip in Apollo 11 had gone wrong, the space age wouldn't be where it is now. He was the first, and therefore, all honor to him. His name will live for all time. Mine certainly won't. All I can say is, I didn't think for one moment I deserved this award, but I am more than grateful. All I can say, therefore, is thank you very much indeed. It's been one of my great days of my life. Thank you.
Excellent, fantastic. Well done to Sir Patrick Moore.